Hello, I'm Stephen Hawley Martin, author of A New Theory of Human Life and Existence. I've written many books, both fiction and nonfiction, and I believe this is the most important one of all. You see, more than 50 years ago, at the age of 25, I had a near-death experience. And when I looked down at my lifeless body, I was shocked to realize that I'm not my body. I am my consciousness. Why did I not realize this before? I've come to know that it's because I was raised in the Western world, where we are taught in school and college that all that exists is material substance. Therefore, we are our bodies made of flesh and bones that have brains that create our consciousness. As a result, when the brain dies, our consciousness dies. Thinking that was why I was shocked to learn this isn't so. You know, in primitive societies, as well as among followers of ancient religions such as Hinduism, consciousness is considered the divine source. It's transcendent and permeates and underlies everything. Why do we in the Western world think differently? Because the civilizations that undergird Western culture, the Greeks and Romans, for example, had many gods. The Jews had Yahweh. The Canaanites had a god called Baal. Then along came Jesus and beliefs changed. Now there was only one God who created everything, a God that was separate and apart from his creation. Time passed, and in the 17th century, an Englishman, a philosopher named Thomas Hobbes, railed against the witch trials and the witch hunts of the day. He declared, in so many words, that God created everything in the physical world and that only the physical world existed, that there was no such thing as ghosts or invisible spirits or demons. The intelligentsia of the day and of the century that followed, people like Thomas Jefferson, picked up on this, and a new way of thinking of the world and the universe came into being. Called deism, also known as the great clockmaker theory, the thinking was that God created the universe, which was like a huge machine or a clock, and he wound it up and let it go and was no longer involved with it. For a century or so, this idea persisted with the intelligentsia until Charles Darwin came along with his theory of evolution and the survival of the fittest. This enabled academia to dispense with God altogether. And that, my friends, is where we are today. The widespread belief in the scientific community that the universe had always existed and would always exist. At least for a while, that's what they thought. Unfortunately, in 1929, at least unfortunately for those who believed that, the American astronomer Edwin Hubble saw red shifts in the color of galaxies far away that indicated that the universe was expanding. This led to the Big Bang Theory, which solidified in the 1960s with the discovery of the cosmic microwave background that showed that heat from the tense early universe still exists. The only explanation those who were invested in scientific materialism could come up with was that the universe had come about from nothing in an explosion that took place 13.8 billion years ago. Really? From nothing? That makes no sense at all. So following my near-death experience and the realization that I'm not my body, I am my consciousness, I set out to uncover the truth. And I believe that I have uncovered the truth, which I reveal in my new book. It lays out my theory, which I back up with research findings and the results of experiments from a host of different sources, including Elon Musk's Grok 4, quantum physics experiments, research done at the University of Virginia by its Division of Perceptual Studies, as well as the Windbridge Institute, the Monroe Institute, and other credible sources. I hope you'll read my book because you will not only find out the truth about reality, you will also find out who you are and why you are here. Thanks so much for listening.